All right, all right. So we are here with our guest today, one of our guests tonight, Brother Dwann B in the house. Brother Dwann B, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Let the people know a little bit about yourself, brother.
That's always a hard question because I be trying to figure out what do I want to tell people.
No doubt.
Well, DwannB.com is finally up and live, so you can kind of visit the world of Dwann B. It's a skeleton site. I got my web developer finishing it off right now, but it's up. So if people want to get the world of me, it's on that. It's all on that website. Um, I do a lot music history. I'm on Twitter a lot for my music history. And that's not something that I said that I want to be a music historian one day or nothing like that. I just had a lifelong love of music, and I have an elephant's memory. So when I learn something, I don't forget it. So I've always just cared about music. You know what I mean? Like sitting with my dad. One of my earliest memories was sitting on the couch with my dad watching the Barry White interview or watching the Smokey Robinson interview. And my dad used to record on VHS tape those old like Motown, like when Motown had Motown 25, they had like those documentaries that would come on Channel 4 before Motown.
Yes, sir.
My dad would record all that shit on VHS tape. And so like when I don't want to out my parents, but when I was like when I was like 8, 9, I would say more so like 9. My brother was like 14, my sister was like 13. They used to leave us to go to Vegas, and we over the weekend. But we was responsible kids. We used to have fun. Like
No
we used to
doubt.
look forward to my parents going to Vegas because it would be like shit. But we weren't no bad. Like we wouldn't do nothing stupid.
Right.
Me and my sister would we would literally pull out tapes. Like we would always watch Coming to America. We watched Last Dragon, all the nigga classics. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But then when I
Yes,
got
indeed.
done watching the Eddie Murphy classics, Trading Places, this before the internet, you used to cop in tapes and shit. I would pull out my dad's Motown 25 review tape and my dad's Stax Records documentary. All the tapes that my dad would record, the ABC nightly special on Sammy Davis Jr. My dad would record all that shit. And so, and if it was, I was an outdoor kid, so if I was inside and it was raining and the Lakers weren't on TV or nothing like that, I would watch these documentaries on tape.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So, and then so I started teaching myself how to play the drums. I'm a drummer, self-taught. Although I did take lessons just to learn how to read music, But I'm a self-taught drummer, and so when I started at the age of 13, and so when I started playing the drums, I really got into the history of music because anything that I do, I just naturally want to know the history of. I want to know the environment it's in.
Smart.
Like, who is this person? Who is that person? I want to know about the whole industry. You can't. I don't believe in just jumping into something and only being good at that. You got to kind of know everything around it.
Yes, sir.
And so that's where that came from. And so really, this is just a lifelong journey of personal curiosity. That when it comes to music history, reading books on music history, I would do book reports in the 7th grade on John Coltrane. You know what I mean? I would do. Book reports in high school. Everybody's talking about Michael Jordan in their book reports. My book reports would be on in the 9th grade on Dizzy Gillespie and his influence. So the shit that I be talking on Twitter and to y'all, this is shit that I was putting in book reports in the 7th grade. Like this is remedial to me because I've been doing this shit. So, as a matter of fact, I thought I was normal. I thought everybody knew this shit. Beatzilla. If we had this conversation 2 years ago, I'm thinking this is common knowledge. I'm not thinking I have anything special. It wasn't until Pete Rock said that bullshit, then Busta Rhymes, Fat Joe, and I started seeing how they are trying to take our history. And I would just say stuff off memory from shit that I learned in the 90s.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm just, and I played the drums, so I played the drums of former members of Earth and Fire. I'm from LA, so you play the drums in church.
Yes,
all
sir.
the niggas that was with these bands from the 70s playing at somebody's church in LA.
Right. For real.
Right, so,
and now.
I'm not trying to say that I'm some special guy. I play with this guy. No, if you played in church in LA, you played with somebody.
Absolutely.
So I would be a teenager just listening to these cats talk about Romley Davis, he's a trumpet player for Earth and the Fire, and I'll be rehearsal
Mhm.
asking him questions about touring with Earth and the Fire, like how was it? And like
Right.
I was just a curious motherfucker.
No doubt.
So now when I see this assault on our history, I say, you know what? Maybe I got to come out of my bag because I'm saying I wouldn't talk about it before. I thought it was common knowledge. So now that I see it's not common knowledge, let me just drop it because so people can know that we ain't nobody to fuck with.
Real talk.
You know what I mean? So that's also stand up comedian. I'm doing Tariq's Hidden History show. I'm hosting with Tariq tonight
Yes,
at the
sir.
Hidden History Museum. I'll be doing a show in Dallas for the convention,
Hmm.
Hidden History Convention, this Saturday. I'll be throwing a show that Friday night before. So if you're in Dallas
Nice.
for the Hidden History Convention, come and see me get down with these jokes. And let me tell y'all
Dallas,
something.
Texas.
When I do these jokes, I ain't coming to you niggas with no history lesson, nigga. I'm making you niggas laugh.
Right on.
I'm not a come like I'm smart. You need to listen to me because I'm intelligent. I'm making niggas laugh. I'm a nigga on stage.
I know that's right. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm a
That's,
nigga on stage. And
that's
so
how it's supposed to be.
that's my background. Self-taught drummer. I've been doing comedy, 12 years. Hitting them stages.
Hmm.
I come from the background working with children. Did that working with Sycamores here in LA. That's a mental health agency here in LA for 10 years. Got my own company, breakthroughas.org. If you go to DwannB.com, you see my cardology company. I read cards. I'm a playing card. Do a lot of shit, but look at my Google reviews, people. I'm certified. I ain't no nigga that's just.
Right. Uh-oh.
But I had gotten a call. I
Oh, okay.
red dot.
I got you. You good. Go ahead, brother. You go ahead and finish.
No, go ahead. I know that's a long ass
Oh,
answer,
oh,
but
no, no, no. That's hey man, that was a very thorough walkthrough right there, brother. So right off the rip, let's start with the first question I got for you, man, which is the need to protect our culture. And as just your take on it, we see so much going on right now. John Leguizamo, uh,
Mhm.
and we even got these old Sambos coming out to where we don't need no reparations, and we need
Yeah.
to. You got Busta Rhymes coming out here that was touting Caribbean culture when his last record came out. Now the Caribbean is the origin of hip hop. Can you speak on that, brother?
All right, man. Look, because this need that I have to speak the way I speak and be so open with my blackness comes from this. This way it comes from. I work. I've always worked with kids, starting when
Mm,
I was a kid myself. My personal mentor, my favorite person outside of my parents in life, is my doctor, Dr. Lawrence Robinson. He's still alive, thank God. But Dr.
okay.
Lawrence Robinson, he's one of the great doctors here in LA, one of the
Mm,
head immunologists. And when they shut down King Drew Medical Center, they had to. He's so good. I'm saying this is people call. Hold on, let me put it on. Nah, but if I put it on airplane mode, I might not be able to.
oh yeah. That'll
Nah,
kill
so
your signal.
yeah, so if I black off y'all, I got 4 bars, just people calling in. I'm hitting the red dot right away. All right,
It's all
but
good.
so where was I at?
You we were talking about the need of protecting our
Oh,
culture.
yeah, the need to protect our culture because I was at King Drew Medical Center, the
Hmm.
Denzel Washington Community Center. 1995 is when I started in Watts. My doctor
Mm,
had a tutoring program, and so I came as a student tutor. I'm 14, but I'm tutoring the 7-year-olds. You know what I
mm,
mean? I'm 14 tutoring like that kind of thing. And so that's where I got my start working with children.
mm,
And then so I've been doing this now 2 years, 28 years, and I would notice a pattern of behavior. See, I grew up on the west side of the hood. West side
hmm.
niggas and east side niggas in LA are different. It's way more grimy on the east side than it is on the west side. I grew up on the side where Boys in the Hood was filmed.
Okay.
King Medical Center was on the side where Menace to Society was filmed. Different sides. You know,
Okay.
a little more grimy. It's grimy where I live, but it's
Right.
more grimy.
Right. No doubt.
So I'm getting a baptism in life, and I had a great mentor, Ezra Nero. He was a teacher. Ezra Nero. I recently found him on Facebook, and I got to thank him for how much he meant to me in my life. as a child, as a youth, finding myself. And he
Oh,
taught me
wow.
how to observe children. He taught me how to observe patterns of behavior, and,
Mm.
and where needs come from, and what
Right.
psychological
Right.
needs are connected to emotional outbursts. And so I
Mm.
learned this. This is my upbringing as a teenager. So then when I get to college, my major was communication studies. My minor was cultural anthropology. So now I'm learning how social engineering works. I'm learning how
Mhm.
communication works. I'm learning how things work as far as scientifically, how brains work, how self perception dictates behavior.
Mm.
I'm learning this in general. This is before I zero in on black folks.
Right.
I'm getting to your answer. I'm learning this in general. Really learning how self perception dictates behavior. And
Mm.
so I'm saying like, okay, so now I'm asking questions. I'm in my 20s. I'm asking questions now, and because at the time I'm very judgmental. I wish you niggas would just do better. Why you gotta rob people? Why you gotta act like this? Why you gotta act like that? I'm just judging these
Mm-hmm.
niggas. I got a college degree. You niggas should have went to college too. I was that nigga. You know what I mean? And I was going to church at the same time too, nigga. I was playing the drums at church in
Right.
college. You rascals are going around. I got a $60,000 Audi. I'm driving. What are you niggas doing?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I'm that's how I was. And
Mm-hmm.
mind you, I learned these things growing up. I mean, learning in college, but I'm not applying it to life yet. I'm learning the concepts between behavior and action, between how you perceive yourself and how you act out. I'm learning all these lessons, but I'm not applying it to life yet. I'm still in my 20s and arrogant, thinking I know better than people.
Right.
And when I got into my 30s, that's when I worked at Hathaway Sycamores for those 10 years. And I'm seeing these babies and how they act. And all these kids that are labeled special education and they're bad and blah, 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 blah. And I'm seeing all the ones that label bad, they act that way. But then you give them something good, they act a little different. So
Mm-hmm.
I started asking my babies questions about 2010. I started asking questions. Every child that I met, all the black kids, I would ask myself, what do you think about being black? Like, what is being black to you? Like, what do you think about black people? And I would get some form of I would get these three answers. I would get we we from the 5 year olds.
Mm.
My age group was age 5 to 15, and then when I coached basketball, my age group was 14 to 17 for my basketball kids that I coached. And I
Mm.
would even ask my basketball kids this question too. Hundreds, maybe thousands of kids I've asked this question too. What do you think about being black? And they'd be like, we bad. I had a 5 year old tell me one. This one hit me. A 5 year old said, we bad.
Wow.
I said, what do you mean? Because children they only hear bad, good, bad, good. That's what they understand.
Right.
So
Right.
my 5 year old baby said, we bad. So what do you mean by bad?
Wow.
And then I'm looking. His grandmother has the news on, and he looks at the TV. He just looks at the TV, and I'm thinking like, man, that connection. Only time they see black people on TV is when we're doing something negative.
Mm.
Then I had a 14-year-old. I love this little smart nigga. He was in a special ed class
Mm.
school. They said he was dumb, but he was a little genius. I
Wow.
asked him. I was like, what's up with this black? He was talking to me about race and everything like that. He had
Mm-hmm.
saw me on a video I had done at All Dev Digital. He's like, "Dwann, you do comedy?" I was like, "Yeah." And he had saw me. I was a star of that nigga in a minute because it was when All Dev
Right.
Digital was new.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he saw me on it, and so we really got to have these conversations. And I was like, "What do you think about being black?" He was like, "Man, we don't ever get it right." Like he's like, every time I watch the news, we
Mm.
just this, and then every time I watch TV, then basically the only good black people, basically how niggas is, we were slaves. Martin Luther
Wow.
King helped us out. Michael Jordan and Jay-Z are the greatest, and we can't seem to get our
Wow.
shit right. That's the chain of thought in most black people. It starts
Wow.
with slavery. It goes to some guy named Martin Luther King helped us out. We didn't help ourselves. He helped us. He did it for us. Like the
Wow.
whole Jesus complex. And greatness is either somebody who dribbles a basketball or raps. And when we keep
Wow.
fucking up, that's why we always on the news. So it really hit me real
Mm.
hard. The only thing that we know about ourselves really is bad information. Then I connected that psychologically to my college upbringing, to
Mm-hmm.
self-perception dictates behavior.
Facts.
So I drew that line then. It took the experience for me to draw the line of
Mm.
self-perception dictates behavior.
I
So
dig it.
I saw that line of thought, And then I said, okay, I don't have the power to stop the media and what they do, but I do have the power to tell my story.
Fact.
And I think about how what Hidden Colors did and the impact Hidden Colors had on me and on so many people. The Hidden Colors didn't need to argue with CNN or PBS. Hidden Colors just had to come out and tell us the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you wash dishes, you can get a sink full of dishes, a lot of water, but it don't take that much soap. Just a few, a few little squeezes, you good. It don't take you to.
Right.
You don't have to equal. You don't have to have equal parts soap and water.
Mm-mm.
You can have a whole lot of water
Mm-hmm.
and a few dabs of soap, and it'll clean all that shit.
Fact.
Well, the few dabs of soap is the truth. That's the soap. Is the truth.
Mm.
And you have a spirit body. You have DNA. That's where we get Dr. Joy DeGruz's work of the DNA memory. We hold memory back at least 3 generations. We know we go further back than 3 generations, but
Right.
in her book, I go with what's proven. So because it's all a whole bunch of literal niggas out there who ain't never seen
Right.
niggas who ain't never seen 1 ounce of air talking about something. I need to see it for it to be true,
Right.
nigga. You see the condensation on that glass when you blow your hot ass breath against it, don't you?
Facts.
But you never saw the air, nigga. But you
Facts.
see something. Anyway, so I started making these connections. I started
Mm-hmm.
making these connections. And then, sorry if you hear that background noise.
No, it's all good.
That's my maintenance people working on my new unit.
No doubt. No doubt.
Um, anyway, um, anyway, so I started seeing these connections, and so I said, okay, I drew the conclusion: Black people aren't crazy. We aren't stupid. We're just misinformed.
Facts.
Especially after I really embodied the cultural impact of Hidden Colors, and I saw where we were as a people mentally in 2008: hoes,
Mm-hmm.
clothes, women, cash, cars, and clothes, and bullshit, to where we are now.
Facts.
And it's like we're more aware. And so I'm like, okay, let me stay in my lane and use this little small sliver of information that I know very
Mm-hmm.
well. I know a very finite, a very finite piece of information. Music history, um, Black history.
Mm-hmm.
That's very finite, minuscule pieces of information. I don't
Right.
know how to manipulate carbon and molecules. That's other shit. You know what I mean? So
No doubt.
I take my finite bit of information that I have, and I say it as loud as I can. I be as detailed as I can, because I respect my listeners. I created my tree so you
Mm-hmm.
can see it, and so you can look at it and study it. And if you want to know further, you can look at it yourself. Hopefully, I just gave you a good start.
Yes,
And I
sir.
feel that, I'm a king of clubs. My job is I'm a talker. I'm a shit talker. I crack jokes
Mm.
and I like teaching. I love teaching. So I'm using my natural gift of a strong, good memory, my
Mm-hmm.
natural desires of learning and loving Black people and loving our music. All of it's natural. This is just natural shit that nobody told me to do. It just was in me.
Mm.
And it's in me to talk. It's in me to disseminate information.
Mm-hmm.
So I just use my natural talents, my natural ability to memorize, my natural ability to speak and make people laugh. And I talk about the things that are naturally fun for me to study.
Yes,
And
indeed.
I use those skills that God gave me to help other Black people out get a little bit of more information, and then hopefully my information, along with other people's information, can help lift the cultural esteem. Because the way we stop shooting, for all you dumb niggas talking about Chicago, you want to fix Chicago, fix the point of view and fix the money. Fixing the money is part of it, but also fixing the self-perception. Because I can be poor but
Mm.
still have a love for myself, and if I got that love for
Yes.
myself, I'm not gonna kill you.
Facts.
So we working on the money part, but we also got to work on this part. And so it ain't no changing. Like I learned, and for you dumb niggas that like talking about Chicago, yes, I said dumb niggas, because
Mm-hmm.
you niggas is like attention. If you ask me, if you attention seeking horn ass niggas that like bringing up Chicago, if you want to know a little deeper and think I'm bullshitting, just read anything on cultural engineering societies and how society is society. When any society, that anything that happens within the society is a responsibility of the greater society, because the greater society is what imprints on the lesser societies. And this is just scientific shit that if you
Mm-hmm.
take color away from it, go back 100 years in New York when there was nothing but Italians and Greeks in the ghettos, they were shooting and killing each other too, because that's the environment
Facts.
of the fucking
Big
ghetto.
facts.
Like
Big facts.
ghettos are planned community. They're planned disruptive communities. They're
Yes.
planned, and
Yes.
everybody. And with that plan being said, 99% of the people in the ghetto ain't never gonna pull out a gun and shoot nobody. But
Mm-mm.
for the less than 1% that do, because if you think about it, you hear about to say there was 1,000 shootings. Well, there's 9 million people that live in the city.
Right.
In
Right.
Chicago was what, 2 million, 3 million black people in Chicago.
Big facts.
So if 1,000 got shot, you add it up. Take 3 million and divide it by 1,000,
Right.
and you see how many people are getting shot. So that goes
Yeah.
around telling you the over in spite of this master plan, the
Mhm.
overwhelming majority of people are still minding their business, going to work, raising their children, and doing what they want to do. But
Exactly.
you're not going to get there if you want them judgmental ass niggas that just want to sound right and sound smart and kiss white ass.
Facts.
So that's where I come from.
No doubt. So with that, and you pretty much covered my questions. So with that being said, let me ask you about your documentary, and then from then on, also remind everybody where they can find you. So tell everybody about the documentary that you're doing.
Well, I'm putting together. I already have it potted out, but I'm putting together a documentary on the history of black music, starting with my Black Family Tree,
Mm-hmm.
tracing hip hop back 400 years,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and really showing how it's bigger than hip hop. All these things that they say come to hip hop, or you need to hip hop, and then you hear people say you need to hip hop, but at the same time they'll say it never started in hip hop, but they won't tell you where it started. So I
Right.
want to go ahead and root out, and we're gonna get to where a lot of these cultural phenomenons that are currently expressed through hip hop, we're gonna trace that back through funk. We're gonna trace that back through jazz, blues, Appalachian, yodeling, all the same. It's all our shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what that's about. And I know those people asking, okay, why is he smoking on camera? Look, it's the reason why I smoke on camera. Because there's always people out there saying weed smokers are lazy and don't do nothing. Check my schedule, nigga. People that talk like that, let's put my schedule next to yours and see who's lazy. You know what
Mm.
I
Right,
mean?
right, right. No doubt. No doubt.
Put
So
up what I produce next to you. Let's see who's lazy.
I know that's
I'm all
right.
I'm all about busting paradigms, dog. I'm a
Yeah,
destroyer of paradigms.
no
You know
doubt.
what I mean? That's how I get down. And my paradigm had to be destroyed for me to free myself.
Big facts. And with that's very interesting that you said that too, because I think something we see in our culture often is people are trying to hold on to old things, bringing them into a new thing.
We in a new day, man. Like I earlier said on my YouTube channel, I talked about Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson getting fired, but
Right.
I also added in my card reading, and people were
Mm.
looking like, "What's this?" Look, it's a new day. I used to
Hmm.
hide this shit from people, thinking like, "Man, what are people gonna think if I smoke weed on camera? I do this." And then I got to
Just
thinking,
being
man,
you.
people don't know shit. Matter of fact, the people running their mouth the most know the least amount of shit. So, especially about what they criticizing. So, I'm like,
Right.
why am I going to minimum? I'm not. One thing about me, I'm myself. I'm me. People ever met me in person, I'm the same nigga. I
Hmm.
ain't, I don't, and so, I've accepted both. We all have positive and negative aspects, and we all have aspects about us that, that we gonna keep behind closed doors and things that we gonna keep out in public.
Right.
Well, if you see me in public, it's a good chance I'm gonna have a blunt in my hand. So I'm not gonna hide it on camera because if you see me in person, I'm either gonna have a blunt in my hand or I'm gonna smell like weed. So I don't want to surprise you.
I know that's
And
right.
so like that's where it comes from, man. It's just, we as a people culturally, we always looking for the next savior.
Hmm.
That's where we came out that era of somebody's going to save us, and then the minute you spend all this time looking for a savior, and then the minute that savior shows themselves as anything less than perfect as a human being, as they are, what do? Turn them, talk shit about them,
Hmm.
throw them under the bus, make them one mistake. Every human, all of us out here with a public spotlight, we one mistake away from 85% of the people saying they fuck with you to stop fucking with you.
Yes.
One mistake away, all of us. Me
Yes,
too.
sir.
85. I'm very clear that I'm one mistake away from 85% of the people saying that they're down with me to fucking stop dealing with me.
Yes,
And
indeed.
I'm okay with that. That's why I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be me. And if you don't like who that helps me clear that process out early.
Facts.
If this is all it's gonna take for you to stop fucking with me, don't listen to a goddamn thing I gotta say, nigga.
Man, brother, I am with you right there, my brother, all the way. So again, brother, let me again thank you and shout you out for all that you do and that you're doing. And happy new Black Media Appreciation Month to you, my brother.
Man, I appreciate that, BZ. And I want to say shout out to you, shout out to Black Alpha. I thought we was gonna be, I was hoping I thought we was gonna be in a Twitter space today. Like
No doubt.
we gotta do a Twitter space pretty soon because
Yeah, we do.
I like the way you think. I like the way you get down. You know what I mean? And I appreciate everything that you're doing.
Likewise.
I appreciate the fact what you bring to the spotlight, and I appreciate your perspective on everything that we're doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, brother. So,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, Dwann B, and again, tell them where they can find you, brother.
At Dwann B, you see the spelling of my name, right? Where is it? Right there. You see the spelling of my
Mm-hmm.
name. Let's put that all in one. Dwann B. That's at Dwann B on YouTube. That's on Instagram. That's on Twitter. It's also DwannB.com. If you're confused and you don't know where to find me anywhere else, you just go to DwannB.com. You can find my cardology website. You can find my breakthrough advocacy services, the other site where I told you I work with kids for all those years. You can find that
Mm-hmm.
site. You can read the reviews from actual human beings. If you think I'm bullshitting, doing too much, the reviews are on Google from actual people.
Dope.
Got that going on. I got my tickets to my show this coming Saturday at the Comedy Chateau. Tonight, Hidden History Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, May 26th in Dallas. For the Hidden History at the Friday before the Hidden History Conference. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be doing a live comedy show and mixers, so we're gonna be mixing it and mingling too. So it ain't gonna just be comedy. You'll get to meet niggas. For those of you going to the conference, you'll be able to actually meet people that you've been knowing online this whole time. So come on out. It's not gonna just be y'all listening to me talk. It's gonna be y'all interacting with each other too.
Dope. Dope. So once again, man, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my interview with Brother Dwann B. Y'all make some noise for our brother. Thank you, Black First, brother.
Have a good one, brother.